Kayode, you know, this whole conversation around River State will never end until, you know, things are done fairly to the political end, which is what I've always maintained, that, what do you call it now, declaration of a state of emergency, or even what has happened in court may not totally bring closure. We respect the decision of the court, of course, but those players as well must be brought to the room to find a path and a way forward so that we take off this crisis from our shoulders. But let's find out what you are saying on X. Let's begin with the video. You know, some elders in River State had raised an alarm that they haven't heard from the governor, similarly Fubara, who was suspended with his deputy and members of the House of Representatives. So here you have it. Yesterday we saw him in flesh and blood. This is Port Harcourt City. He's heading into a church service, I think Salvation Ministries in Port Harcourt, I think led by David Ibiomia, the pastor there. So you can see him with some leaders of River State. At least I can see the Sambata, the Ohanes Ndibo Worldwide President General. So for people who were worried about the whereabouts of Siminala Fubara, there he is. Kayode.
Well, Jeffrey, there had been lots of rumors, as you said, about whether or not he's in the city, whether or not he's under house arrest, which, again, we had debunked based on our own, reporter reporting from there. So I think this brings to closure all of that. There you see him. And I think it's quite instructive what he did. Right? I know a lot of people don't think either the church or the mosque or the religion space is an arm of government in that sense. Yes, it isn't, but believe me, the influence that, you know, religion wields in Nigeria is almost equal to another arm of government. So this is a very calculated move, very instructive. His first appearance is at a worship center. So all in all, I think so far he's been quiet, particularly about this, just going about his business and allowing others to speak on his behalf about this one. But, well, it's good to see him in public and at least to see that calm, that peace in River State. But that doesn't take away the fact that there's still a lot of opposition to that emergency rule. Jeffrey.
Apparently, even the administrator himself calls it uneasy calm. Let's head to Jigawa State, where the governor, Umar Namadi, has faulted project over poor quality. I wish you can see that video. That's it. That's the governor checking out the project. And you can imagine government spending money. So at this point, you can't blame the governor. You can't blame the government. And quite livid. So I don't know whether it's a pedestrian bridge or a proper bridge. I didn't see the full picture. But this is something that's supposed to protect people from falling over or vehicles from falling over. But look at the quality of work. David Anikai says, government should devise means to monitor projects during construction and see through. They know how to collect taxes, so it shouldn't be a problem. And Wallop.
This next user, Wallop. And Jeffrey, true to what you said, this is meant to be an erosion control project. So imagine the erosion control is not obviously strong. It's just going to flow with the erosion and cause more problems. So while a lot of people, rightly so, blame government or at least put them to task, a lot of these people are also the problem when you look at it. And this next user, Wallop, says, I wish it could be carried out at every government project supervise, or rather government should supervise every project this way. Well, we actually have people who are tasked with that responsibility in government in terms of quality control, you know, project management, monitoring, procurement, and all of that. They have jobs and they're being paid. So important point raised there by Wallop.
Says much of the time, the same officials that approve the contract collect half the contract, some as kickbacks. High performance is impossible under such conditions. So this person has raised two issues here. The kickbacks can reduce the quality of work because the contractor wants to make his money, unfortunately, to the detriment of the lives of people. Also, there are people that are in charge of project monitoring who can even go there and mischievously connive with these contractors and look away because they are giving them money. So there's a lot to deal with. But let's move away from that, Kayode, to this particular video. Let's just show you the video so you make up your mind as to what you think about it. Yes. So, Kayode, if I was to write an exam and the lecturer or the teacher says, define overload, I'll just play this video. That's all that is required. Okay.
You know, there's overloading and there is this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not overloading. This is more than overloading, because you clearly see the tiny tricycle, and then you see, I can count almost 10, I think about 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or even more tanks. And right on top of that tricycle. By the way, Jeffrey, this is a regular thing, right? They'll tell you they've seen this before. But is it right? Clearly not right. And I think this is one example of what we do as citizens that, you know, doesn't just make sense. You can say, yes, they're trying to save costs, but at what expense, really? This thing could topple over, hurt children, cause a major accident, and you see lives lost, and, you know. But hey, it's what it is, guys. It's just one of the things we saw, and we just wanted to show you. Please, 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 safety first. All right, safety first.
Oh boy, what what a sight to behold. But I'm sure if you look around, you're going to see some of these things time and again, unfortunately. But we'll take a quick break now away from. We have other things you spoke about. Ranging from another explosion we heard happen in Rivers to some other things you've been talking about. Resident raising alarm over a gas pipeline that is leaking, even the Pope making his first appearance since that scare about his health. So all of this, yeah, so this is happening. We're going to come to that in a moment, but we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the very first conversation. So it's a lineup of conversations from health to technology to the Rivers crisis. We're going to have Professor Wole Soyinka, who is a Nobel laureate, who is weighing in on this issue as far as the issue of Rivers State is concerned. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the very first conversation. Join us again.